Are you hungry? Because if so, you're in the right place. Today we're making homemade cavatelli with a Mazara Shrimp, basically sauce.
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. Homemade pasta today. Cavatelli, as you heard. It's a southern Italian pasta, so no eggs in it. It's a water and semolina based dough, but we'll look at that later. This is something I saw. I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but they posted it on Instagram. They use peas instead of beans, but everything else I think is probably similar. It's the sister restaurant of Trippa, but the one they have in Hong Kong. I forget the name, but you can look it up. But before we have a look at the ingredients, do me the huge favor. If you're not a subscriber to the channel yet, which unfortunately many of you aren't, hit that subscribe button and check the bell icon. Like that, you get a notification every Tuesday when a new episode comes out. But now, let's have a look at the board. As you can see, there's not many ingredients here. There is the beans, and I already cut them, because cutting beans is boring. As I said, the original recipe is with green peas, but it's not pea season here, so it's beans. We have some salt. We have our Mazara Shrimp and our Mazara Shrimp stock, and we have our Cavatelli. First, let's have a look at how we did the Cavatelli. Pasta dough is really easy. I don't know why we don't make it more often ourselves, because it's quick, and normally it's 3 ingredients, or sometimes even 2 ingredients. So in this case, we have 300 grams of semolina flour, 100 grams of plain white flour, and 200 grams of warm water. And I'll remove this so we can use the bench to see once that's done. Now we'll put our semolina and plain white flour. Now you can take a fork and mix this, or you can just use the hands. Basically, we just want to mix it up a bit. Make a well in the middle. And we pour in our warm water, making sure that the edges are tall enough. I think we will be fine, yes. And now we start to work in the flour. Now you can do this in a machine as well. Oops. We have leakage. I'm not too worried about that. You just get a dough scraper out at the end. Right now we can work with the flour to suck up the liquid. It looks a bit messy, but hey, who cares? In the end, it's going to be nice pasta. I'll actually continue with my hands. Making sure we get all the flour worked in. So I managed to work in, as you can see, most of the flour, and now it's time to start kneading. And this will take a couple of minutes, probably 5 minutes or so. And I always knead out. I'll try not to keep my head in the way. So knead out, fold back, and then knead out again. You want to do that until you have a nice, smooth dough. I'll see you in about 5 minutes. So I think we're there. Form it into a nice ball. And a good test, you can just make a thumbprint, and if it grows back out, you're there. You can get some cling film. We cover it. And I will let it rest for minimum 30 minutes, maybe 45. And then we'll make our cavatelli. Now, to make our cavatelli, we need a dough scraper, a microplane, or any kind of, well, you don't even need that, but I'll show you that later. Our dough, obviously, and I have a pan here with some semolina flour in it, so I'll put that to the side. Open up our dough. I'll keep the plastic so that it doesn't dry out. And then let's start with, let's start with a fourth of it. Put the rest back on the plastic. And let's see, now we make this into a sausage. Try to get it evenly thick. It's not extremely important to get it even, but it helps when you want to portion it. I think we're relatively good there. Let's try to find the middle. And I'll just show you one of these. So we want to go about, let's start from this way, it's easier to see. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. We want about, I would say, 1/2 centimeter. And now that we have that, you can either just take the dough scraper and scrape it. Why is it not sticking? Oh, it's too hard. Like so. Or you can do what I do. Can you see that? Yeah, you take your microplane and then you scrape it on the microplane. And I'll try to hold that up. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a roughness to it now, and the sauce sticks perfect to that. And then just put that in your tray or whatever you have with the semolina flour. And that's how easy cavatelli is. I'll try to show you once more if we can do it just by scraping on the board. Yeah. You see the difference is, I can show you, does it focus? Yeah. It's much smoother, but we don't like it smooth. We like the sauce to stick to it. So make your cavatelli and then let them dry. Well, I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. I'll see you probably in about 10-15 minutes, but you will be a second. And this is the finished product. Our cavatelli. I will let them dry. But that's how you make cavatelli, or at least how I make cavatelli. I'm a wannabe nonna, but they taste really good. It's dead easy, but you need time. But it's really worth it. Now let's have a look at how we got the shrimps and our shrimp stock. Here we have a beautiful Rosso di Mazara shrimp. It's 1 kilo unpeeled that you need for about 4 people, I would say. Let's get started with prepping these. I'll show you one, then you can do the rest yourself, and then we make the amazing stock out of these. I'm sure you've done this many times before. And if you're careful, you see you can get the, what do you call it? Not the colon, but the intestines out. And then you just peel them off. Make sure you keep the peel, because that's going to be used for a wonderful sauce. Now, you don't have to worry too much about pulling the tail off, because we're going to cut them up anyways. But that's what you want to end up with. This we're going to use for our stock, and this is going straight into our pasta. So I'll see you when this is done. So now that we're done, put our tails in a separate container or a bowl. Put them in the fridge for now. And we'll move this over to a plate, and then we'll set up for our stock. There's some additional ingredients we're going to need for the stock. I'll show you those in a second. I just realized something, and that is before we put these away, we're going to cut them into smaller pieces. Like that we don't have to touch them again. Should just put them in a row, like 4 of them, and then cut about a centimeter and a half. That's the pieces we want later for our pasta. So do that before you put them away. This is what we need for our stock. We have the shells, obviously, some salt, some olive oil, a bit of tomato puree, white wine, and Neuilly Prat, or any other kind of vermouth. Let's set up the plate, and let's get cooking. And first of all, just heat up some olive oil in your pot. I just checked our oil is hot. We're going to fry off the shells first to get out as much flavor as possible. You probably can't see much from on top because it's very misty, steamy, but it smells fantastic. It would be nice if YouTube offered smell as well. Don't worry if stuff gets stuck to the bottom. We'll deglaze that with the Neuilly Prat or the white wine. It's going to be fantastic. We can put in some of our potato. I said potato, but obviously I meant tomato puree. And it's important, it's about 2 tablespoons. It's important to fry that off now. So just make sure that the tomato puree kind of hits the bottom of the pan. Turn it down a bit for now. Back up and go in with a bit of Neuilly Prat. A good, that was probably 100 milliliters. I've said this before, not everyone likes to cook the way I do, or not everyone likes that I don't always give exact recipes. And I'm sorry for that, but sometimes you just need to kind of wing it and go with your gut feeling. Important now to cook this off. We'll go in with the white wine as well, about 2 deciliters. And one ingredient I forgot to show you, water. We're going to pour water over this afterwards and then just reduce, let it all come together. At the end, add a bit of salt. We can already now add a good 2 pinches of salt. I'm not tasting for flavor now, I'm just seeing if the alcohol is cooked out. And with this, we can add the water now. We'll add a liter of water. We'll let it come to a boil and then we'll turn it down to simmer. As you can see, it's starting to boil there. We'll turn it down a little bit. And now we'll simmer this down. We'll strain it, make sure its taste is there. Might need to add a little bit of salt, but that's it. That's how we prep our shrimp and how we make our shrimp stock. Again, really easy, but you need a bit of time. So this is kind of a Sunday dish when you feel like you have time for cooking, or you can prepare stuff in advance as well. And obviously our beans, like I said, we just chop them or slice them, and we have a bit of salt. I'm also going to put in a bit of lemon juice, but I don't have the lemon here right now, I see, so a bit of lemon juice. But let's start making all of this come together. I'm not going to film how I cook the pasta. Well, you're going to see it in the background because I'll do that on that stove. But I'll make the sauce here and then we'll transfer the pasta over to the sauce. And I'll only make, there's more than one portion. It's probably enough for 4 people here. I'm only going to make 1 portion now for us, and the rest I'm going to have with the family later. So let's set this up. We'll set up our cooking station. Unfortunately, my pasta pan does not work on this plate. As you see in the background, we have our water on for our pasta. Don't forget to salt your water. It's going to be quite salty when you taste it, ideally more or less like salt water. So we'll wait for that to boil, and then we start putting our sauce together here as well. Well, we can even start, because we need to reduce it a bit more. Let's go for 2 nice big ladles of our stock. And we'll bring that up to a boil, reduce it a bit. And I told you lemon, but I realized I don't even have lemon, so we put in a little bit of vinegar, just like a tablespoon. And we want to reduce this because we're going to put some pasta water in. Because of the starch, we want it to become a bit, not thick, but a bit creamier. Now you probably can't see it because the top camera, but there you can see the water is boiling. So we put in our pasta. It takes 4 minutes, so time that. You can turn this down a little bit now. Put in a good hand of our beans. And normally for 1 person I calculate 120 grams. So it's 120 grams of pasta. Now we can turn this down even to 2. We don't really want it to boil anymore. Give it a quick taste. See where we are with the salt. Oh. And for me, the beans can still have a crunch to them. I think that adds a nice texture to your dish. So it's been 2 minutes. We're going to finish them off in here. Keep the pasta water. We're going to add some later on. Turn it up again. And we don't really want our shrimps to cook too much, so we're just going to warm them up right at the end before we serve it. We'll add a ladle of pasta water. You can even turn it off. In goes the shrimp. Like so. We just stir it in so that they can warm through. We'll get rid of the plate, and then we're going to be ready to serve it up. So we're ready to serve this up, but before we do so, if you stuck with me this far, there must have been something you enjoyed about the episode. So do me the huge favor and hit that thumbs up button. It's just down there, takes you a second, but it's so valuable to me to get my content out there in the YouTube universe. Now, let's serve it up. Make sure we get all that good sauce. Spread it out a bit. I can't wait to dig in. Let's get a bit of everything. The Cavatelli, nice and al dente. The sauce, a punch in your face of goodness. The sweetness of the shrimp. I just love dishes like this. They're cooked from the heart, right? It's not difficult. You need time and you need heart. And I love how the rough outside of the Cavatelli kind of just sticks to the sauce. Excellent. I'm not going to bore you with me eating. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the recipe, leave them in the comments below. I always answer them quickly. And before you go, if you're not a subscriber, don't forget what you have to do. Hit the subscribe, check the bell icon. That's it for this time. Take care. Bye-bye.